Billy the camera guy filling in for Brady. I know he said we were going to have him go in because I taught him everything about the camera, but apparently he didn't listen and he doesn't remember the basic camera functions and all that mumbo jumbo, as he says. Since we had the ticket for Brady, I'm filling in for him. I got his clothes and I got his sunglasses. From here on out, at least on this workshop, I'm Brady. We're filming a promo video for the ranch, filming the workshop, and trying to get some good images, get some good video of some wild horses playing out here in this vast, beautiful landscape that is getting drier by the day. We had some dust devils out there earlier. But anyway, I gotta go get over to the workshop, so I'm gonna stop narrating and start filming. Good evening, it is Billy the camera guy, incognito as Brady here. I've been filming the wild horse photography workshop. We've been at camp. I'm tired from 8 hours in the saddle today. We rode to the wild horses. We found them, the elusive herds up in the high hills, and I'm exhausted, but I'm here to share with you the fundamentals of run and gun filmmaking, what I've been learning from shooting an outdoor event, because as we said, we're going to learn the most about filmmaking if we shoot in the outdoors where we don't have access to electricity to charge our batteries, where, you know, we got to shoot on the fly in changing light conditions. As you can probably see, a cloud just went over the sun and my camera settings are off now, but I'm going to keep rolling because I don't have a lot of battery left and I got to film some more interviews to get everything I need to make this promotional video. Bugs are bothering me. But anyway, let's dive into what I've been learning about the fundamentals of run and gun filmmaking, shooting an event on the fly, outside, capturing an event. Let's go, let's dive in. So you're gonna have to forgive me since we don't have a lot of time. I took some notes about what I wanted to share with you. I'm gonna read them off my phone so I can get this done, save battery and memory on my memory card. So let me just find where my notes are. These are the horses that took us up into the hills today. I rode Wally, it was great. All right, so here are the fundamentals. Brady told me to be charismatic like him and not just a boring camera guy, but you know, I got personality, so I'm just doing it. I'm just gonna talk for you. Here's a recap of what I've been learning so far in our first video shoot. As you know, this is a workshop for wild horse photography. There's really only one true wild horse area in the country because the rest are managed. So these are not managed except by mountain lions. We saw a foal, the baby horse that had been killed by a mountain lion. The horses got spooked. But anyway, that's not videography. It's part of the adventure. But yeah, these are, I got to walk out amongst these herds, and for my first lens choice, I used the telephoto lens. This was the first night that we were here, 2 nights ago, since we can't get that close to them. I wanted to make sure that we got some good images, so I used the 70 to 200 millimeter lens I have. Some other photographers here have a lens that goes out to like 500 millimeters with a 1.4 times magnification, so it goes to, or sorry, it's 400 with 1.4 magnification. It goes out to 560 millimeters. I didn't have that. It's expensive lens, $10,000, he said. That's what we spent on all his camera gear. Oh shit, Brady told me not to say that. We'll write it off though, it's a business expense. Anyway, then I wanted to use the 24 to 70 millimeter to take photos of the people in the workshop taking photos of the horses. So when we rode out amongst the horses the second day, I was really the first day, we kind of met in the middle of the day, the first day, but the second day we rode out amongst the wild horse herds, and the horses are more comfortable when you approach on a horse versus when you approach on foot. But for that, I used the 24 to 70 millimeter lens so I could have a wide option to capture more of the landscape, and all the way up to 70 millimeters so I could zoom in a little bit. We caught some horses running across the field, and I wish I had the zoom lens for that, but I didn't. I'm trying to document the workshop, so I wanted to get the people in action, but you know, I got plenty of stuff from the horses the night before, so I got some rearing and some action, so we should be good to go there. I used, for most of that, I used the on-camera, or the shotgun mic that attaches to the camera, because most of that's probably not gonna be, I'm not gonna use that audio. It's gonna be shown as B-roll when someone else is talking from an interview that I film, or there'll be music playing. And you know, if there is a sound, I can use it, but For the interviews, I used the Rode Wireless Go 2 because I wanted to get the crisp sound and not pick up too much background noise, and if there was wind, I wanted it to be close. And so when the presenter, the person running the workshop, gave her presentations, this is what I used. I just gave her one of these. It's what I'm wearing right now. Picks up the sound pretty good. That's the sound. So the biggest lesson shooting outdoors is the light. It changes so much. Just the slightest bit of thin cloud cover going over the sun is something you might not notice with your eyes, but on camera, with my metering off, without the histogram, I was underexposed or overexposed. So I kept changing aperture or the stop with the ND filter. It was just constantly changing it. So I might have white balanced too many times, but I wanted to make sure I had good exposure. So I haven't looked at all the footage yet. I transferred it, but when I look at it, we'll see what's good, what's not. Usually you can do some color correcting and fix stuff that's not perfect. So hopefully I can use the best shots. But that's just something to keep in mind when you're shooting outdoors. If maybe you're not doing a wild horse photography workshop, I realize it's a pretty rare event, but you might be doing a wedding or a presentation of something else outside, a graduation ceremony, whatever it is, a concert outside. Light changes, and especially in the West, like sometimes in the Midwest or the East, you get overcast and a lot of the sky is covered at once. Light doesn't change too much, but out West, a lot of places too, when there's clouds drifting across the sky anywhere, that's definitely something to keep in mind. You want to just keep changing your settings, and that's what all the photographers were saying too. So you got to have your exposure right. It's all about the exposure. But also out here in the West, it hasn't rained in a very long time. It's the West. We're in a drought. The world, the planet is drying up. Lots of dust flying around. So dust lands on the lens, on the camera body, and we're also riding horses. So I had the camera on me on the sling with the strap, and I was trying to get video while we're moving. And you know, your horses kick up dust, so dust lands on it. So you want to have your lens cloth or a lens brush to get the dust off the lens and also just off the camera body every once in a while. If it's there for a little bit, you usually don't notice. You can shoot through it, but just something to keep in mind. Also, if you're riding a horse, find a way to secure it when you don't need it for shooting, because it's bumpy and uncomfortable, and you also want to enjoy riding the horse. So we put it in the nose bag, which is a nose they hang over the horse, and they eat the grain out of it in the morning. Yeah, I called it a grain bag, but it's a nose bag. So we had one on the side. I put the camera in there. I wrapped it in something so it didn't get all dusty, and it was protected. Another lesson for you content creators and run and gun filmmakers out there. If you're shooting video of an event, like a wild horse photography workshop or a wedding, a public speaking event, if you're showing people in the video or capturing them talking, you will want to ask their permission to be on video, right? Tell them what it's for. You may want to get to have them sign some release waivers, all that before. But I got some permission from the people that want to be on video. Everyone here said they're fine being on video. One woman said she did not want to speak on video because I asked if she wanted to be on an interview, and that's fine. But there are other people that do, so those are the interviews I'm getting. Usually if someone's just in the background and they don't say anything, it's not such a big deal at an event, but it's just something to consider. You know, there could be legal ramifications, you never know. This is a pretty low-key event. People are here to just have fun, so it should be fine. Another way to get around that is you can also just tell the event leader beforehand that have them make an announcement, or tell the guests. They could email them beforehand, something like that if it's a workshop, something that people register for. Or if it's a live event, they can make an announcement beforehand, and if it's small enough, and just say, you know, if you don't want to be on video, let us know. So another tip, save your battery and save space on your memory card. Bring spares in case you run out. This one is a rare event because we are outside, we've been camping, we don't have access to the electric grid. So when my batteries got low, I had to recharge them. Luckily, we had a generator that the guides brought with them, so I was able to recharge my batteries, and that's great. But it's, you know, if you're out in the field and you run out of batteries, my first day I only brought one, and I shot till I ran out. If I wanted to keep shooting, something cool happened, I wouldn't have been able to shoot if I ran out. So that's definitely something. And also the memory card, I was full on the first day from shooting from stuff before this, content before this, so I had to back it up on my computer. I don't like to delete stuff off the memory card until I've edited it and exported it as a final video, just because I want to have it there. If you can back it up on 2 hard drives, that's better. But I just had the 1 hard drive on this trip, and my computer didn't have space because I'm shooting in 4K, and I have so much content already from this trip. So that's another thing to consider. Bring extra memory cards or be ready to back it up. If you don't have time and you run out, make sure you have the spares. Next, it's important to have a shot list to make sure you get everything that you need. I just started running and gunning, right? Getting video of wild horses out there, which was really cool. But, you know, I also needed to be able to tell a story and put something together, so I knew I needed dialogue. So I had to think of who I wanted to interview, what I wanted to ask them, what questions are going to prompt them to say something that's going to captivate people and basically sell this workshop, because that's what we're trying to do, is trying to encourage other people to sign up and come on this amazing workshop. So, you know, there's B-roll I wanted to get, make sure we got plenty of shots of people riding through the country. I need to still get some B-roll of people at camp enjoying it. I wanted to get some food, not necessary, but I'd like to get it. And then, yeah, I've got a couple more interviews to get. So remember to do that. Write out your shot list, even if it's just a rough draft. It'll help you. You can refer back to it. It'll help you keep track of everything you still need to shoot. And when you're done, you can cross it off the list, delete it if it's on your phone. And yeah, that it'll feel very relieving. So yeah, like I said, I needed to get interviews with guests and the workers. So to do this, I wanted to think of specific questions that will get them talking about the experience. This is a promotional video that we're making for the ranch. And so you want to get them to talk about the selling points of the experience. You want them to say things that will show the benefits of the experience and get other people to want to sign up. So here are some of my questions that I asked the guests. I said, what's your experience with photography? Why did you sign up for this trip? How close did you get to the wild horses? Did you see any action, or what was the best part? And what would you tell people that are considering taking this trip? And then if there's anything else they wanted to add, I gave them that opportunity too. I just let the camera roll.
If you're an avid photographer, or if you just want to experience adventure, I think that this is part of God's country that you have to experience. If you can, hook up a trip with Ivana, and trust me, I guarantee you will have the experience of your lifetime.
Well, so I guess that's it. It's time for me to go wash all this dust off me and get me some supper. And we're getting a little lecture about editing photos in Lightroom. I don't need to record that because it's on the computer, so we'll do a screen recording later. I'll have that opportunity with the presenter and the guide, so that'll be great. And that's that. So this is our last night at camp. Beautiful place. These horses are eating their hay, so I'm gonna go get me some grubs too. And enjoy the evening. That's another lesson too. Make sure you enjoy yourself. Don't just be trying to get every single shot you can, always running and gunning. Make sure you put the camera down, enjoy yourself too. It's not all about filming every single thing, right? Sometimes the best filming takes place in your mind, in your memory, into your heart. So make sure that you enjoy life too. That's all I got for this. We're gonna ride back down to camp tomorrow. I'm gonna meet up with Brady, and we're gonna continue the road trip. And I'll have to edit this footage at some point. It's gonna be a lot, so I'm excited to see how it turns out. We'll let you know in a future video. And by the way, so you don't miss a future video, subscribe to our channel. Thanks. That's all I got.